Welcome to Ageless. So, today we're going to talk about downsizing. It used to be something people did later in life, long after retirement, but now there's a trend to do it sooner. Empty nesters are divesting of their stuff, going smaller, freeing themselves up to have less maintenance, more time, and money to travel. Now, others are downsizing to be closer to their adult children, but whatever the reason, there's a lot to keep in mind when you choose this route, and there are a lot of logistics to consider. My first guest today is real estate expert here in Raleigh, Ann Cabell-Baum. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So, as you know, because we've known each other for a long time, we downsized in 2021 to a condo after years, 26 years of living in the suburbs, raising our family. And one of the things someone said to me, and I thought this was really insightful, was, oh my gosh, you got out just in time. Because I think if you wait, you might not do it, right? You might get really comfortable. So I'm interested in what you think about that. I mean, are you seeing people maybe doing it a little bit earlier than traditionally they used to?
Well, we see a little bit of everything. Downsizing as a whole has become much more popular, and it's not taboo to say the word downsize at this point in time. So, yes, because Amanda and Griff did it, everybody's doing it. But truly, we're seeing a lot of people downsizing probably before they would have maybe 15 or 20 years ago. And we call it actually right sizing. So they don't need the third and the fourth and the fifth bedroom anymore. They really just need their primary and a guest bedroom. And if the kids roll back into town, then maybe they rent an Airbnb so that everybody can be in one place at one time. But truly, it's a convenience as far as the right sizing, and it also allows people to really be able to get to the beach more frequently, or to the mountains more frequently, or if they have a spot somewhere else. And we've seen a lot of people literally just moving from a 5 or 6 bedroom home into two different properties. And usually that's one level living with the main bedroom on the first level. And there's a lot to be said for that because there's no stairs, but there's also an ease and convenience with not having a lot of requirements outside the house, meaning a huge lot. So you may have just a 1 story bungalow someplace, and that bungalow really is allowing for them on a tiny lot, allowing them to be able to lock and leave. Or maybe they're in a condo and they're up on the 8th floor or the 10th floor or even the 23rd floor. They have a great view and they're there 2 months and then they're gone for a month.
I like that, the right sizing. I think that's a great way of looking at it, and lock and leave. That's awesome too. So, I think it's interesting because I think maybe the pandemic had something to do with this because people started really to evaluate, hey, I've got X number of years left. Like, how do I want to live my life? Right. And I think people are more interested in experiences than things. So that allows you to, like you said, free you up. I looked at some of the statistics from the National Association of Realtors. 73% of home buyers do not have children under 18, which I thought that was pretty high. 30% homes are being purchased by people 59 and up. Again, I think that seems to be a trend. Is that what are you seeing that a lot with your clients?
So the numbers can kind of be skewed just a little bit because if you have money, you can buy a home. If you don't have money, or if you are just starting out and interest rates are high, then it's harder to save for a down payment and make your purchase. And a lot of those people who are saving for their their down payment and their purchase are also living at home, so they can make those savings mount up so that they can really make a significant dent in a down payment. We the interesting part about the age of buyers and how that is happening really trends from location to location. So downtown, we may see 2 bedrooms flying off the market because they want a primary room and a guest room, and that's all that they really need because they do have that second home at the beach or the second home that they want to buy or build, as the case may be, in the mountains. And we're watching people come out of those 5 and 6 bedroom houses to do that. it it, the backside of this is that if you have a home and you have a 2 or 3% interest rate, it is super hard to sell that home based on the fact that your mortgage payment, if you sell it and buy exactly the same house, I mean, exactly the same amount of
So
house,
much more.
same price, is going to double, if not close to double. It's going to be significantly higher. And that has slowed our market down completely. As, regardless of who you are and what you're buying or what you're not buying, it makes it really tough to leave 2 or 3% for a 6% loan. I get it. You know, we joke around as real estate agents all the time. I can't afford to sell my home. Where am I going to go? And you know, we
Right.
probably have a little bit more information about the marketplace than most buyers do, and we should know what to do. But it's been interesting to watch it happen. And the home buyers really, if you have the cash, if you have the money, or if you have some type of funds that you can pull from, those are our new buyers. Those are the larger buyers, that can afford to make the purchases.
Yeah, and I think also maybe the trend working from home has changed the way people think of home, right? So 22 million people, wow, are now working remotely. And you can live anywhere. You can live in the city you work in, or you may live in a different city, right? So you can have a lot more freedom. So let's say somebody moves here to be near their kids, but they're still working,
Mhm.
you know, they can be anywhere. They can be in a condo in downtown, they can be anywhere.
Right. Or, you know, you can be in a townhouse, you could be at the lake, or the river, or wherever the case may be. And the number of people that we find working from home has probably tripled since since the pandemic. The pandemic kind of forced everyone to, their new reality was, I need a cloud account, I need to be able to do this from my computer, and I need a comfortable office chair at my house. And whether I'm working, you know, in the living room or at the dining room table or whatever I'm doing, I'm having to make do. Now it's a choice that people make who are purchasing. They don't have, you don't have to have a full office to work from home. You just need a space that maybe you can put your earphones on and actually sometimes just sit against a wall. You don't even have to have a view outside a window unless you want one. And so the top of staircases and landings have become people's new offices. You know, some people like to stand while they're working. And so those up and down desks are super popular. And you can use that in your bedroom. And it can be,
Yeah, look at me.
there you go. Love it. Love it. But you can, there's things roll around, so you can really be anywhere
Yeah.
you want to be. And um, so
People are creative, right? They're getting creative.
and not only did they have to get creative, but now they are creative because it also changes the kind of the element for which they're working. If you didn't have to
Mhm.
sit in your cubicle every single day, 5 days a week, and you could move around your office, it'd be almost like having a new office every single day. And we find
Sure.
people doing that at home all the time. You know, the other thing that is really great about condo living is most of the condos have some kind of amenity somewhere. So you can take your laptop.
Go
You've
to
got,
another place.
yeah, go another place. And, you know, if you both work from home, one person can be on the phone because they've got Zoom calls all day, and the other person can literally go up to the club room and sit in there on their, you know, buds, if they're earbuds, and they can work all day. I mean, or you can sit by the pool.
Right. So there's a lot of options.
Yeah.
One interesting statistic that I found is that by 2060, and I will be very old by then, a
No.
quarter of the population will be 65 or older. So again, this shift also goes into, do we need one story? Do we need an elevator? You mentioned that earlier. But there's a good chance that I think anybody over a certain age, if they're looking for a property that's their forever property, they probably need to consider those things, right?
So one level living is amazing. I'm actually in one level living now. I've been in townhomes, I've been in houses with multiple steps, different floors, and things like that. And one level living is something that we're seeing a request for over and over and over again. Whether it be I want an elevator, I want to come into a lobby, I want that security, that double layer of security. You walk into a locked foyer, then you go up an elevator, and you have this kind of anonymity almost when you're in 408 or 610 or whatever your unit number is, because everybody knows your address, but they don't really know where you are in the building. And so you've got that double security, that double lock. Lots of people even tell me in condo living that they don't even lock their door. I know I used not to. I would forget half the time. I would come in and go out in the morning and my keys would be literally still hanging in the door.
Hanging in the door.
Oh my gosh, I can't tell you how many times that happened. But the one level living really has its benefits. Number one, on your knees, especially being able to, not having to go up and down the steps. And it's kind of a misnomer that people want their forever home versus like one level living. A forever home has all of these check boxes that both people
So
usually
maybe
have to
like
be
the
in.
next 10 years home,
Right,
maybe
exactly.
thinking about, okay, I don't have any problems with my knees right now or my hips, but I could develop that.
Mhm.
And I want to have the option to be able to get up here without
A-
walking up the steps.
Absolutely. Or one person has an issue and the other doesn't. And you're really concentrating on what makes the most sense for your lifestyle right now and into the foreseeable future, right? So that one level living, and everybody wants this. So it's kind of interesting. I want what I have. I only want it on one level, and I want it on a teeny piece of property. And so we're going to go sell their house, right? And their house is going to sell for 750, and their new place is going to cost
It could
them
be
$850.
a million, yeah, or
Or
$1 million. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, I think that's so getting into what people need to know, right? What are best practices? What should they know if they're considering this path? They have to realize they might pay more. If they're going to a location that's really popular, like a downtown location, wherever, whatever city you're in, if you're going from the suburbs to downtown, you're probably going to pay more for a smaller footprint with no yard
You're exactly
than
right.
than your house is worth if your house is older, or even if there's just a lot of inventory in your house price range.
So downsizing and single level living are exactly as you've kind of just expressed. It's you're moving from something much larger into something that typically is smaller. You're getting rid of a lot of things that maybe the kids you wanted to save for the kids, and maybe the kids don't want it. And now you're trying to figure out where to go with that. Call me. I'll help you with that.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is that when folks are looking for one level living, and they're coming if they're coming specifically into a walkable community, it's usually more expensive. The closer you kind of get to more amenities, more amenities can be things like restaurants and different kind of nightlife experiences, shopping, being able to walk literally just maybe 3 or 4 blocks to the grocery store, the tailor, the dry cleaner. Hopefully, you don't need the dry cleaner anymore as you're downsizing. But all of those things. There's a cost that's associated with that, and if you haven't really thought about it, the cost of physical property, the closer you get to the city center, that's why things go up, or you see vertical living, is because it's more, the land itself is more expensive. Therefore, you're either going to pay for more of it or you're going to be able to enjoy a smaller space based on your dollars and cents.
Right. And that's the walkability. In addition, we were talking about the elevator stuff. Those are both really important things to a lot of people as
Mhm.
they get older. So, do you think there's enough inventory? Are you seeing inventory in this city, but just in general, as a person in real estate, for this population of people that are like, no, I'm not going to wait.
Yeah.
I'm not going to wait. I'm going to do it now.
Well, it always you always come back to what's your price range? What are you trying to do? What are your goals? Can you live in 1,000 square feet? Of course you can. You can totally take everything to the mountains, and you can live in 1,000 square feet. And Raleigh can be your in town home. And but the the inventory that we have right now, as far as condominiums specifically, is very low. Um, and the price that we're seeing on the new construction is much higher per foot than the older, kind of sometimes even better construction that was done in the 80s and 90s. So it's kind of interesting to see that. One of the reasons is because it's brand new, it's renovated, it's got all the bells and whistles. The older condominiums actually seem to be a little bit larger, less price per foot, but they don't have the amenities. So they don't maybe have the pool and the gym and all of those other things inside the building. The number of condos that we have downtown that are available right now are slim. And so it really depends on where you want to live. If you want to live right in the middle of the action in a high rise, you're going to pay $600, $700 a foot. Just going to be the way it works. If you want to live in one of the newer kind of um, Budley East kind of developments that really are indicative of kind of like what happened at the Cardinal in North
Like
Hills.
everything's right there,
And yes,
everything's
exactly.
available.
You're going to pay close to $1,000 a foot, and that sounds crazy, but they also
That's
have
the
step care. So we're talking about a
right.
huge range. You can also be in a condo in downtown at $400 a foot and have a beautiful 10-foot ceiling, a great view for as long as the view lasts, and you can't imagine the open concept floor plan that you have and how you ever did without it before you move in. So there's a little bit of something
A
for
lot of
everybody.
options.
There really
Yeah, and I
are.
want to be clear because obviously this show is watched and listened to by people from other cities. We are really talking about Raleigh, North Carolina right now when we're talking about prices because that's where your business is. And so obviously this would vary depending on,
Oh,
what city
absolutely.
you're in. So what kind of advice would you give for people that are just starting this process that are like, I don't know what I want, but I know I want something different. I want something smaller. I want something easier. And I want something, like you said, maybe close to the action, maybe walkable.
Right. So I always have said, especially with a couple that are doing this together, is you have two different people, you have two different lists. I want to see your lists, and you can't cheat. You have to make your lists independently. And if it does, collaboration is not going to help me help you.
That's a
So
good point.
yeah,
Yeah,
it really, really isn't. Some people's jam is they have to have a garage covered parking space. Somebody else may have to have a wood burning fireplace or a gas log fireplace. But you take those two lists and then you take everything off that's exactly the same. Take all of those variables off. And then you're left with what people can't live without.
sure. That makes sense.
That's my marching. Those are my marching orders. I go out and I find it. This, and this is, and it's not like we're looking at 15 different options. We may have three or four
Right. There
to
might not be
consider.
too many in that range.
Exactly.
Um, how can people follow you and your business if they want to get in touch?
Sure. So I'm 919-606-4074. That's my mobile. Call or text me. Nice things, please. And then I'm at Ann Cabell on Instagram. I am LinkedIn Ann Cabell Bomb. Ann Cabell does have a hyphen in between it. And then you can always find us at the Glenwood Agency. We are at 700 West Jones Street in downtown Raleigh.
Great. And I will put all of that in the links
Okay.
to the show so people will be able to find you. Thank you so much for breaking this down for us. This was really interesting as somebody who has recently gone through this and knows a lot of people that are either thinking about it, getting ready to do it, have just recently done it. I think most of us are really happy with the end result, which is a lot
Thank you
more
for having
time.
me. Please have everybody reach out. I'm happy to help, even if it's just an initial conversation. I'm thrilled to kind of share my knowledge and expertise.
Sounds great. And we will be right back with a woman who just went through the downsizing process.